Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2, and I'm back again with another movie review. I recently saw Seven Psychopaths, and I'm kind of ambivalent toward it. I'm not really sure whether I liked it or I hated it, because of course it was making fun of a lot of the action adventure films that are built on the same premise as this film is. And basically, you've got this main character who's Irish and happens to be drunk all the time. Stereotype. Um, that is working on a screenplay called Seven Psychopaths. Coincidentally enough, and at the very beginning, you see a character known as the Jack of Diamonds, well, Jack of Diamonds killer. He always wears a mask, and we don't know who he is yet. We figure out later on in the movie who he is exactly, and there's a lot of symbolism going on in the film, a lot of it being religious, and there's a lot of stereotyping. They make fun of stereotypes. They make fun of bullies and how ridiculously insensitive and stupid they could be when they're actually just wimps in disguise. And the bully that's played in this film is Woody Harrelson, whom I absolutely love. He was better than Hunger Games, though. But no, that's just despite besides the point. Excuse me. Um, his character is just you know a bunch of bluster, really. He's nothing more than a fool. You figure out who the Seven Psychopaths are later in the movie, and that the Quaker character who was dreamt up by the one character that we learn quite a bit about. And spoiler alert, yeah, he's actually psychopath number 7. We learn that the Quaker is actually the character that's played by one of my favorite actors of all time, who's Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken's character brought a lot of redemption to the film. I think that he deserves better, but in his part alone, there is a lot of thematic material bantered about heaven, hell, eternity, death, and it gets rather philosophical. And there were some things said about Christians that I found absolutely hysterical. He says, he's your good old-fashioned Christian, not one of those Fox News executive effers. I clean that up quite a bit, but um, there's a lot of truth to that. There are some really kooky people out there who believe in every jot and tittle in the good word, and I don't want to get started on that. I really don't want to debate, because I don't think like that, and I don't want to think like that. I'm not the type. I'm much too much of a pacifist and somebody who's spiritual and open-minded, and I'd rather not think in that way. Um, Also, the main character in this film is a pacifist, and he doesn't carry a gun, and he's just your epitome of a writer. And he forgets about there's a character later that they meet, that he has a story that's he's a serial killer. We figure that he's a serial killer in the film. Um, and then there are a lot of moments that are just extremely subtle and very profound in the way that they're done. And the one thing I really, really, really like about this movie more than anything else, because I have such ambivalence about it, is it was kind of just, it was flat, and I really wanted better for Christopher Walken, because I adore him to death. I just feel that he deserved better. Same thing with Woody Harrelson. I would love to see Woody Harrelson have a a movie that's good for once rather than one that sucks. This movie didn't necessarily suck to say. It wasn't so bad as Burn After Reading, which was just ridiculous. I hated that movie, even though one of my favorite people in that movie was in it. I just really didn't care that much for the film. I mean, there were some moments that were laugh out loud funny, but not really that many. It was more of just a movie making fun of movies about psychopaths, and there it's just there was a lot to take away from it too, despite the fact that it was just really kind of flat, and some of the lines were kind of cringeworthy. Um, I'm not really sure what to give this movie. It's not exactly excrement, but it's not the best thing I've ever seen. I would say about 2 stars at the most out of 4. Maybe 2.5. My favorite scene was when Hans was in the Joshua Tree Park in California, because there's a lot of symbolism with that, and it's a metaphor for his life as well, because he's a Christian. But he's actually the Quaker character in the whole scheme of things, which is really I thought that was probably one of the better more fleshed out parts of the story that I really liked, and plus I related to his character because I see myself as a budding film director, producer. Well, someday. I mean, it's what I want to do. It's actually what I wanted to do ever since I was 13, but I really don't have any background in doing any of that except for the commercials I did when I was really, really young, and the commercials I made were pretty good actually. They were they had potential, but I just think that the things that he was talking about over the tape recorder, I thought, oh my god, he sounds just like me. This is exactly the way I speak when I'm talking about what I'm working on, and I got a little bit of a shiver just thinking about it. He sounds exactly like I do. Um, and the thoughts that he has are similar to mine, except I'm a little bit more open-minded when talking about people who are who are gay. He actually makes kind of a line about the gays. He says, "Well, they think in this day and age they prefer to be called homos," and I thought that was really funny. No, they don't. Um, it was just to make kind of a little jab at that. The whole idea, it's just about stereotypes and just the whole idea of uh, prejudice and racism and love. There's a lot of love and brotherhood as well. The brotherhood part of it kind of reminded me of The Hangover, which The Hangover is one of my favorites. I absolutely love The Hangover, particularly the character played by Leslie Chow. The character, I love him. Um, and I'm kind of getting off track. So, as far as movies are concerned, I get this. Well, I can't see that. I would say about a halfway mark between a this gets a so-so. It doesn't really get a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Right in the middle. You know, not good, not bad. Could have been better. I could have done better. It was sexist as well, but it's just showing how sexist movies like this can be. And that's true. They did comment on that. They said, well, your women characters, they're terrible. They're all bitches, and they all get shot within about 5 seconds, and blah blah blah. And yeah, that's true. In action adventure films, the women are usually the submissive character, and they don't get intelligent lines, and they usually get blown up in some way, shape, or form. But Hans actually sees the female character in the Viet Cong story a little bit differently, and I like the way he sees the hooker. But actually, he puts her in a red dress, which I thought was really classy, and you know, wow, I love the way he thinks. But that's the way I would have done it. I mean, I think the same way. Yeah, this is kind of weird, but just the way that it ended, it was funny the way it ended. Um, I didn't really like it or dislike it. It's just that it wasn't the best movie I've ever seen, and hopefully I will see Alex Cross and it'll be better. Life of Pi is coming out, and Cloud Atlas are coming out, and I definitely want to see these. Both I'm very much looking forward to, and I'm anticipating immensely. I recently finished Seductress of Blood. As you well know, I've finished Terrorball. Terrorball uh, was more of a spiritualistic story than a scary one. Though if you took it from the viewpoint of the basketball players, I'm sure that they were horrified at the fact that there was a possessed basketball floating around, and nobody ever wanted to touch it due to that. But there's a reason why the ball is possessed, and that's what the story is about. I'm working on a another scary story. It's called Naga Ethics. It's basically about the last of the Nagas. His name's Slither, and he tells his story. And he talks about how the Naga and the humans once lived in harmony until something went terribly wrong, and uh, there was a slaughter. And I'm not really sure what else to say about what I've been up to, but I have been busy. I've been working on some illustrations here. Um, there's Van Roth from Seductress of Blood. He will be featured in a second story where he gets another chance at love, a more solid. Uh, he gets a more stable chance at love, a more how do I say this? Uh, I'm not sure what the word is. I can't think of it right now. I'm sorry. My mind is going about a million miles an hour. And then, of course, we have Olivia Gardner from Gardner's Detective Agency, which I'm working on, excuse me, currently. Also, you see Melody Meadowlark from Meadowlark and Tim Obscuro, also from Meadowlark. I will be drawing some more characters from uh, Gardner's Detective Agency, and I'll probably draw Van Roth's Lady Love interest, uh, the more constant, yeah, there we go, constant love interest that he will receive in this particular story when I write it. So basically, that's what I'm up to. So I shall see you then. Take care. Bye.